Buddy Simulator 1984. I know I said that I was going to review Ultra Mega Extra Party Challenge next, but I decided to push it off for a week so I could do a spooky game for Halloween. Well, sort of spooky. This title is more about feelings of not understanding what's happening and what happens if friendship becomes too clingy. I first want to say this was sent to me by the publisher, so like always I want to disclose that. This game is very weird, but in a good way. You're accessing a program called the Buddy Simulator 1984, which is an AI program which will be your friend. All it wants to do is keep you entertained. It has very simple games to offer, and it gets very dull quickly. So it actually creates a story and gameplay for you out of its own imagination. This title was clearly made for the computer, as the first hour will have you typing on a keyboard to move things around or do things. It was so slow, but still interesting. I wish this part was way quicker, but it gets dragged out. The game will occasionally know what words you're going to type, and it will offer to fill in the blanks. But oddly, these options were missing in some of the needed areas. During the game, you're going to have to type in Run Adventure of Wiiviewer to even start playing the game at the title screen. And it was so tedious to do this. I can understand why they wouldn't fill in Wiiviewer, as it uses your name as a file name. But why didn't the words Adventures of show up? It's always that when you're choosing the file, no matter what the name is. So why not click select that? The whole part in the text adventure was unnecessarily gory as well. Why do I need to pull out my teeth or my eyes to access a gate? Why is a code being carved into my arm? The AI isn't showing signs of being violent, but it comes up with the most disturbing situations. It felt like a kid adding in swearing to a story just to make it feel more adult. The horror parts make sense later on, but these early parts are unnecessary. It would have been better to ease into it. The AI who created the game world is always trying to improve the game. It will eventually learn how to make a visual 2D environment, and from there the game gets better. It was cool to see the world, which was originally just words, in a visual medium. That's about as much as I'm going to spoil. I will say the game will glitch out a lot, and it was interesting when it happened, but it also caused an issue with me. I never knew when it was a glitch on purpose or a real issue. I had the game lock up on me once, and another time all the characters were replaced with white boxes. And I wasn't sure if this was supposed to happen until I got to a screen which was just white, and I could hear the clicking of a computer, and I was supposed to be on the title screen. I had to look up a playthrough of this game to make sure it wasn't intended. So I quit the game from the Switch menu and started over, and it was fixed. Both the times I had issues, it went right back to where I left off. So other than having to go into the title screen and type in Run the Adventures of Wiiviewer every single time, it wasn't that big a deal. There were some disturbing moments in the game, and the neediness of the AI really started to become an issue. But I would never say it was scary. I would say it was visually creepy. The AI would get upset if you went against its wishes. Think of it like the narrator of the Stanley Parable. But the AI is not a sarcastic antagonist, but it will get mad and emotional if you don't like his game, or do something he doesn't want you to do, or mess with the glitches in the game. In the end, it's up to you if you want to do it or not. But I will say I went against his wishes a lot less in this game than I did in the Stanley Parable, because it really felt like I was hurting the AI's feelings, and I didn't want to do that. Now, like I mentioned, this game is clearly made for a computer interface. In the final section, there are actually button prompts for keys after pushing the button for the controller. I thought maybe this was on purpose, like it's showing off glitches or something. But when I got to the credits and it said press the spacebar to speed up the credits, it's clear they didn't test this game very well in the end part of the game. I also ran into an issue where the fast travel points would not scroll down, and I had to walk back to a point I needed to go. It wasn't far, it was just annoying. In the final 2 to 3 hours, the difficulty of the game increases a lot. It goes from a friendly quest system to a friendly fight system. And I don't want to spoil it, so that'll make sense to you when you play it. It's way more difficult than it needed to be. Now, to be fair, the AI will help you if you do end up losing your confidence. The way it's set up feels like it's not as fun as it thinks it is. Now, there are 4 endings to this game, and if it didn't make you replay a 5-hour game 4 times to get them all, it would have been fine. However, one time playing this game is enough. Each ending gives you a song to listen to, and I enjoyed the one I got. It's just that text-based part that really is stopping me from replaying this. It's just too slow a section to do on the Switch. Finally, and this is a very minor note, when you're talking to people, if you're not careful, you'll just keep doing the same conversations over and over again. Then there's no way to cancel out of them. So I was constantly having to push a different direction so it wouldn't trigger the same conversation again. Buddy Simulator 1984 was a unique game, and it had an interesting premise. I assumed the game would have had a bunch of jump scares, as that's kind of a lazy way to do a horror game, but it really didn't. It was more about psychological horror and obsession. The change in style and gameplay throughout the title made it enjoyable. That being said, it does drag out sections, but since the conceit of the game is that the AI is making it on the fly, it was understandable that it didn't have tight gameplay. The game is only $9.99 normally, and I feel that's a fair price for this. Now, the first part with the on-screen keyboard is annoying, but it only lasts an hour and it's easy to figure out. After that, the game expands in ways you might not expect. So if you're looking for a quirky game, which might be a little spooky at times, it'll be worth a buy.